Today we're going to be talking about my first times with men. Oh man, this is going to be good. Get a drink, because I promise you're going to want to stay to hear this. Today we're going to be talking about my first times with men. Yes, my first times. Before we hop into it, my name's Kyle, aka Prince Kyle, don't forget it, and I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok where I share my female to male transition, as well as give tips to anybody that would like to hear it. So it's been a long time since I've done a story time. I kind of forgot about them. I wanna bring them back because I like making them. I'm gonna be telling you two stories of my first times with men. There's a reason why I'm telling you this story, but it'll all make sense at the end, and then I want to give a little word of advice. Stick around to the end so you can hear it. So the first story, I was in 11th grade. This is a little before I started getting involved with women. Actually, my longest female relationship was shortly after this story. There was this guy that went to my school and I had the biggest crush on him. Like, I was obsessed. I ended up getting his number off of social media. We started talking and it was going really well. This shirt is really tight around my neck. I feel like I can't breathe. I'm just anxious because I'm telling this story. Everything was going well and we started talking. We were talking about what we wanted to do. If you know, you know. I didn't want to tell my best friends at the time. They were two females and I didn't want to tell them. So I was hanging out with them and I made up a lie that I had to go home.
Really, nigga?
I told them that I had to go home and clean and I would be back in a couple of hours. I had him parked down the street, which was kind of far now that I think about it. And I walked to his car. He could drive, I could not. We had no idea where we were gonna go when we planned out what we planned. We ended up finding a location to go. Mind you, I had no idea really what the male anatomy looked like at this point in time. I was only in 11th grade, I was still pretty young, and male anatomy was kind of foreign to me. I didn't know what it did. I didn't know how to do what I was about to do. So I went in it blind. Most of you guys know when you're young, you do things because you want the person to like you. Biggest mistake of my life. I should have never done it. Thankfully, I did not have sex with this person. I just went down on him. Let me tell you, it was the worst experience of my entire life. Very traumatic, very scary. To the average person, I guess it went fine. Like, it wasn't bad, like scary, like I was in harm's way, nothing like that. Like, it was a normal experience. It was just for me, mentally not really connecting with my body, feeling like a man, but not telling people that I felt like a man. The experience was horrible. He, I will say, finished while I was doing what I was doing. I did not know that that happened, so it caught me off guard completely. 2 out of 10, don't recommend.
Bleh.
That was the first experience for that. And afterwards, as you can imagine, we didn't talk much longer. I, again, did it because I was trying to get him to like me more, and he was just trying to get off. So that was a very short-lived experience. The second time. This time we were in college. I was, at this point, probably a senior in college, and he was like a sophomore in college. At this point, I had started dating women, actually quite a few, it was probably like a 4-year span. So I was dating women at this point, solely women, no men. All of those relationships went to shit. I met him on Tinder. That experience was a lot better because mentally I aligned with my body. I was out as transgender at this point. I looked the way I look pretty much right now. He was accepting of the situation. He was a gay man, so he had never been with a trans man before. He considered himself a bottom. So in the gay universe, they use terms like top, bottom, and verse. If you don't know what that means, a top is somebody who gives, a bottom is someone who receives, and a verse is somebody who switches. With me being a trans man, he was gonna be the top and I was gonna be the bottom. I at this point was a virgin when it came to men. I've never had sex with a man. He had never been a top before, so he was kind of iffy about it too. When the day came, the day went. I don't want to say he chickened out, because I mean, I was nervous too, and we were both kind of iffy. We just connected very well emotionally, so we wanted to give it a try, but I think at the last second, he kind of was like, yeah, no, I don't think this is what I want. And I've actually had this happen a couple times where gay men weren't sure if they wanted to get with trans men just because of the anatomy difference. They had no issues with me being trans. It was just the anatomy difference kind of threw them off, I guess, and whatever. I mean, people have their preferences. I even have my preferences. I was understanding, and again, it was very short-lived. Long story short, getting to the conclusion here and what you guys are probably waiting for, why I told these stories. I consider myself pansexual, but I have only dated women, and I've only had like full-on sexual intercourse with women. The reason behind that is because of these experiences. Now, I consider myself pansexual because I know I'm still attracted to men. I'm attracted to trans women, trans men. I don't really look at the anatomy, and I don't really look at like the way people look at this point in my life. Unfortunately, my experiences with men have just been very, very bad. I haven't had any positive relationships with men. All of the negative experiences that I've had with men have kind of pushed me in the direction to really only go after women. It's unfortunate that it happened that way, because no one should let a bad experience ruin or alter their sexuality in any way. And I know of a lot of people where they've had bad experiences sexually with partners or relationships to where it almost pushes them away from a certain preference. If I could give anyone any word of advice, just really make sure you're ready before doing things with partners. Do not let a bad experience alter your sexuality. That was kind of hard. Like, I was getting kind of choked up. I don't usually talk about stuff like that. If you guys can relate or know what I'm talking about when it comes to having a bad experience, let me know in the comments below, or if you want to talk to me privately, you can message me on Instagram. I am in a very, very happy relationship with a woman. If I were not to be in a relationship, I am now in a point where I align so much with my body. I identify as a man who is pansexual. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. The likes and the comments help my algorithm tremendously. Until next time, peace.